enthusiasts, and welcome to Scaled Affairs, the show where I take a closer look on anime figures of all sorts. So sit back and relax while I'll tell you what's maybe worth adding to your collection. Today's figure is this instant modern classic from Chinese manufacturer Myethos. This elegant Miku has nothing to hide, and so it's not surprising that they have chosen a completely transparent plastic box. For a figure this size, it's also rather narrow and therefore very space effective. I still prefer this method of packaging because I think it's more durable than normal cardboard. The blister inside fits the figure very snug, and there were even parts of foam taped to the shell to provide even more crumple zone. This doesn't look very attractive in an all see-through box, but I assume it really helps to avoid scratches or broken parts. The only thing I don't get is the face window that is ultimately still covered with plastic. A theme that we carried over from last episode is that there is no mounting or assembly required with this one. You just have to remove a couple of protective foils, especially around the base, and your new figure is good to go. Still, Myethos decided to provide you with an instruction manual and some sort of business card. Both feel unusually premium, much better than most flimsy flyer you get with some Japanese brands. As you might have seen in countless figure photos that were made in the past couple months, there are tons of details to discover here, but before I start, let's have a quick overview. Here are some of this figure's key specs. If you're only slightly interested in anime figures, then you couldn't miss the release of this elegant Miku in a traditional Chinese dress. Even though the figure only came out like 4 months ago, there are already over 700 pictures and more than 4,000 comments posted on my figure collection alone. But what makes this one so popular? Well, first of all, the overall quality of her is really good. I couldn't find any major defects, and also the level of craftsmanship that is on display shows you what's possible if you put some effort into it. Need some proof? Take for example this flower pot. They could have just painted it olive, but they went one step further and also included some golden patina on it. Or what about this fine pattern on her upper dress or socks? If you look at her from further away, some might assume it's just cream colored, but if you get any closer you will notice all the fine lines and the fact that it's actually a bit transparent. Another major highlight are the hair strands that cover the entire wooden bench Miku sits on. They are literally all over the place, but in a good way. The color also has this slight iridescent tone that matches her shimmery eyes perfect. Speaking of eyes, the gentle facial expression with all the makeup has a very adult, almost semi-realistic look to it. It definitely sets her apart from countless other figures, but I would even go so far and say that the Miku in this figure is almost unrecognizable. Of course, the long green teal twin tails might give it away, but with another hairstyle and color, this could be any young lady sitting on a log. Depending on your preference, this could be either a positive or negative thing. Her outfit is more on the simple side, but well, I can see why people might like it. Must be the small details like this rim pin or the hidden flower in her hair. In addition to the colored nails and the bracelet, there are enough fine details on the figure itself and not just the base. If I had to nitpick, I do not quite understand what the intention of her original left hand was. If you unpack this figure, she will be equipped with an empty hand, and you would think that the paper fan is just an extra accessory, but no, the paper fan is molded yet to another separate hand, and you have to switch out the whole thing if you want Miku to hold it. It's not a big deal, but honestly, the empty hand that has the same gesture looks, well, empty, and I would have liked an extra goodie or at least a slight alternate mold. I've seen creative folks that came up with their own accessories, but let's be real, for 20,000 yen, an additional piece of small plastic would have been nice. Also, another downside, and this is once again more a photographer concern, is the fact that the sculpture is one large piece. It would have been cool if they managed it so that you can dismount Miku and let other sitting figures try out her base. I know that the hair might have gone in the way, but still, this would have made this opulent prop base a bit more versatile. In conclusion, it's easy to see why this Myethos figure is still super popular. Not only is it a well-known character that tends to get the most spectacular releases, it's also a beautiful piece of art that elevates almost every showcase he sits in. Some of you, me included, might be a bit tired of seeing her, but you can't also deny this is more of a you problem. Myethos continues to produce highly complex and detailed figures that even put some other brand names to shame. Next time, a more affordable figure, everyone's favorite masochist crusader from Good Smile's pop-up line, so be sure you don't miss the next episode of Scaled Affairs when I once again take a closer look on anime figures of all sorts. Hopefully I can see you again in the future. Until then, take care and keep collecting.